Yes guys, welcome back to Seb on Golf, welcome back down to Centurion. Today's video guys is a very different one. We're down on the putting green here and I've got something I think is very special for you guys. If you're new to the channel and you do enjoy this video, make sure you do hit a like on it if you can, subscribe if you are new. It does really help get the channel shared around, massively helps me out. So any support is massively appreciated. But so today, this is a training aid if you like. A drill, it's a putting drill, and it's been phenomenally successful for me. It's helped me to win multiple club championships, including one here at Centurion, my Trilby events, many other competitions. As an amateur golfer, I'm currently off 3. I think this is a real secret ingredient, and it is to do with putting, and it is something that any golfer can do. Literally any golfer can practice this. It's cheap, almost free, and what it is the last little drill I'll do before I go and play in any competitive round. I would not go and play a competitive round of golf now that I really cared about my scoring without doing this drill on the putting green right before. Okay, so I am a huge believer in confidence in golf, and there's no part of golf that I believe confidence plays a bigger part in than in putting. Now, I'm not a professional golfer, guys. Those who watch my channel know that. I'm a decent, low, single-figure player, but I've got the best part of my game is my putting. My stats are very good. They're like a +3, +4 handicapper. I'm not saying this to try and big myself up. I'm saying it just to try and give some credibility that I really do feel like when it comes to the psychology of getting the best out of your game, whether you're a 24 handicapper, 18 handicapper, a 3 handicapper, or a scratch player, whatever you are, a pro, I believe I do have picked up some things along the way that have massively helped me. I think they can help you as well. If any of you are interested in the psychology of golf, particularly when it comes to putting, I have actually read a really interesting, very short and concise book on the subject. I'll talk about that more later in the video. So those of you that are a student of the game, stay tuned for that. Okay, but enough of all that, Seb. I hear you say, what is it? Get on with it. What is this training aid? What is the putting drill? I'm gonna tell you right now. So, you're gonna have to just trust me on this a little bit, right? I massively believe that the way, if you can trick yourself to become more confident in anything in life, you can have more confidence, you're gonna get better at it. And I basically developed a slight slant on a different drill that I once saw that has made me feel incredibly confident on the putting green before I go out and play. You're gonna think this is so simple. That's never gonna work, it's pointless, but you've got to trust me. I have found this to be successful. I've proven it myself. I've won events doing this. It is the most simple, easy thing in the world. There's no trick, there's no clickbait here. It is genuinely the easiest thing in the world. And all you're gonna need to do this drill is one tee. Obviously a putter, a golf ball, a hole to aim at, but you just need one tee. In fact, you don't even need a hole to aim at. Okay, so this drill plays on the fact that by making your brain think things are simpler, it removes the element of fear to it, allows you to use any natural talents or to be free and not be held back by negative thoughts. Something I call in sport the Darren Bent syndrome. No offence to Darren, big fan of his work over the years, but those of you who do know what I'm talking about, UK football, Darren Bent was someone who once played at Charlton, and in the Charlton team, I'm not a Charlton fan by the way, but in the Charlton team, he was the man, he was the goal scorer. Everyone was looking for him to win in the game. Give him the ball and he'll go, and he loved that responsibility. It made him grow as a player. He wanted the ball, he was fearless, he scored goals, he was the top player. He then got, back then, what was a very big money move to Spurs, to Tottenham, where all of a sudden people sure, is he actually good enough to play for a bigger club like Spurs? Is he worth this big price tag? And he started to doubt himself. And it's a mindset shift. It's needing to avoid failure and the need to achieve mindset. At Charlton Athletic, he needed to achieve. Give me the ball, I'll show you. At Spurs, he was worried about avoiding failure. And his performance levels changed astronomically, and the same I think is in putting. How many times you've been over a 3-foot putt and all you're thinking about is don't miss this for par, don't miss this birdie opportunity. Your brain's thinking about what not to do. It's the same sometimes on a golf tee where you've got out of bounds all down the right. You're thinking about what not to do. Don't hit it right, don't hit it right, don't hit it right. What inevitably happens? You hit it right. You're focusing on what not to do instead of what you need to do. So this is a little trick that just trains your brain to do it. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Right, before we actually do what I'm here to tell you about, there's a quick little game we're gonna play to give me a score for my putting. This is not the drill, that's to come in a second. This is not the training aid. This is basically a quick test bite, but I think it's quite a good way to practice putting. So whenever I've got 20 minutes to do my putting, or 10 minutes even, you don't need that much time to do this. You basically give yourself 10 3-foot putts, and you've got to make them all in a row before you can move on. So 10 3-foot putts in a row. Then you need to make just 3 10-foot putts, not in a row, and then you've got to make 2 12-foot putts, again not in a row. And it's how many balls do you need in total to get those done is your score. So I'm going to really quickly do that now, give myself a score, then we're going to do the magic drill, my secret 50p golf drill, and then we're going to do it again and get my score. have any issues. Right, 10 in a row. Now, we move on. We've got to make 3 10-footers, but not in a row. But you don't move on until you've made the putt, and it's also not too long a distance. So the drill is all about physically seeing the ball go into the hole, right? So I've used 12 putts so far. That's got to be in. Lovely. If I can get away with making this one without any more misses. Hold your line, hold your line, hold your line. Okay, so I need to make 2 more from here. Very good. 1 more from this distance. Yes, okay. 15, 16 so far. Now I've just got to make 2 from the 12 feet range. Back here, I need to make 2 from here, but this is where it can take a while. Oh wow, how am I going to beat this? How am I going to beat this score? This is unbelievable. Get in, get in, get in. Yes, okay, so we've now got a nice baseline number. Let's do this drill that I've been harping on about, and let's see if it's always cracked up to me, shall we? Don't be underwhelmed by this. Don't ignore the significance of this. I know it's not going to sound a lot, but this makes a big difference. 1 tee in the ground, and then 1.5 feet away. My feet are quite small, but that's about 1.5 feet, maybe about there, right? All you do is 20 1.5 foot putts. What I hear you saying? Well, the reason I call it the 50p drill is not only can anyone afford a box of tees for 50p, you can actually use a coin, something like a 50p piece or a ball marker instead, and use that as your target. However, I don't like doing that because the ball rolls over it a lot. The best thing about the tee is that the ball comes back to you, it saves you having to keep getting the ball, but most importantly, it's a very small target. Let me tell you what's happening here. I do this before I play any competitive round. I do 20 1-foot putts at a tee, just like that. Now the idea is, the dream is the ball just stops right by the tee, like that, comes back to you a bit. That's the dream. So that's 3, 4, just about counts that. 5, do 1 more quickly, then we'll pause. 6, right. Now what's happening here is you are seeing, your brain is seeing, you make successful putts. Your brain is seeing the ball leave online. Now, anything could happen. You actually hit a few poor ones there. Anything can happen with the ball once it goes past 1.5 feet. You might have sliced it a bit, pulled it a bit, whatever. Close the face, open the face, doesn't matter. All your brain sees on these 1-foot putts is success. It sees your ball starting online. And that gives you a subconscious feeling of confidence. Now, the reason this works is if you concentrate. If you just stand here willy-nilly doing this and flicking your wrists at a 1-foot putt, your brain's not going to get engaged, it's not going to work. If you stand over it and think of every single 1-foot putt like your life depends on it, your brain is going to just see that really important putt, success, success, success. So that is just giving your brain constant stimulus of hitting the ball online. What that does when you go out on the golf course is that gives you not only supreme confidence over your first few putts, but you've been focusing at such a small target just before you walk over on the first tee and play, and all of a sudden you turn around and look at a golf hole, it feels enormous. So it's a pure psychological trick, this drill, and it sounds so simple, and I'll be honest, the one thing that is a negative to this drill is when you're doing it just before you go and play in a competition, people are looking at you thinking you're practicing your 1-foot putts, right? And you're not doing that, you're doing something that is tricking your brain into it working. I'm telling you now, whether you think this is nonsense or not, just go and try it. That'll be the proof, right? Just go and try this little drill before you next play in a round of golf. Properly concentrate, 21-foot putts. Actually, one thing I like to do is I do 10 from one side and then 10 from the other, just to mix it up a little bit. Further, just telling your brain, oh, if I mix it up, I can still do it. It sounds like the most ridiculous thing in the world, but I'm telling you right now, I found this over 10 years of golf, having a fairly successful, although be it amateur golf career, winning some big tournaments. This has been massively important to me and massively beneficial. Another little trick, psychological trick in golf for putting, is downhill putts. A little quick one I'll tell you while we're on the subject. If you've got, like, this is a good example actually. If you back up a little bit there, Craig, if you've got like a 6-foot downhill putt like this, often these downhill putts, or if you've got a putt maybe a bit shorter, 3 or 4 foot downhill, a lot of the time there can be quite tickly, concerning putts, right? But once again, use something to trick your brain to make it feel like it's easier, even if it isn't. So in this sort of instance, if a putt is only 3 foot in length, but it's got a bit of break in it, what have you, pick the line, but then just half it. If you tell yourself that's all you've got to hit it to, 1.5 feet, as long as you get the ball started on line, the ball's going to be travelling such a short distance, it hasn't got time to go offline, and it won't stay short because gravity will do its job. So all I've got to do is pick my little spot there, and all of a sudden, I've no longer got a 3 foot putt, which you could miss. I've got a 1 foot putt that I will not miss. So now all I'm doing is I'm standing up to that 1 foot putt, I just pretend the hole's there, and I just trust that gravity will do the rest. Bang. Just like that. Really, really simple trick. All I'm going to say is try it. If you did like this video, if you did like the sound of that drill, drop a like on it. If you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. I reckon I'm going to get a bit of stick in the comments for this, and that's absolutely fine, because I would understand. It sounds ridiculous, it sounds too simple, but you don't need to overcomplicate things. That book I mentioned earlier in the video, it is called Putting Out of Your Mind by Dr. Bob Rotea. He's written many good golfing books. They help you with the psychological side of the game. I think it's massive. I think that confidence in golf is massive. Confidence in putting is massive. There's one trick I do. I can't really do it on my own here. One trick I often do to explain to people, if you go up to somebody and their hands are empty and you just throw them a ball, even if they're not expecting it, they'll react and pick that ball up. Because putting is so simple, it's such a small movement, so little to go wrong, yet we feel like it's this hugely complex, frustrating part of golf. So all you need to do is remove those layers of your brain that are making you concerned about it, and just free yourself up to do what is relatively a very simple thing, rocking your shoulders through. So it's a psychological trick, 20, 1 or 1.5 foot putts. Go and try it. All you need is a tee peg and a ball, and you will be a better putter. See you next time, guys. I'm sorry, if that is not proof about what's happened, you can play that in one whole edit. That is absolutely remarkable. I've just done that in, hang on, have I just done 3 from this distance? Or 2? Just a 2, that's fine. Got carried away there, I was so in the zone. So I've just done that in 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm telling you, this thing works.